So isn't that amazing? No Man's Sky was our This Day and Everything Cool, and of course the big Beyond update is like next week, and those guys have been, I think Nick and Danny can sympathize a little bit with Hello Games with the continuous development, because that's what Dauntless has been all about, right?
Yeah, we've been, we launched on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, or Epic Games Store a couple months back in May, but prior to that we were in open beta for over a year, and prior to that, closed beta for a little bit too. So yeah,
awesome. But recently, you guys launched on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Congratulations!
Thank you.
Congratulations, Danny. Danny is going to play the game for us, and we're going to get into a little bit. It's like further on into one of the expansions, right?
Yeah. So a couple weeks back, we launched one of our latest seasons, which came with it a brand new game mode called the Island of Trials.
Okay.
Pretty challenging content geared at some of our most hardcore players, but comes complete with its own rewards and a leaderboard, as you can see here. And Danny and co are going to see if they can get on the leaderboard.
Awesome.
Top the leaderboard.
If
just survive.
If Danny survives, does he win pants? Or no pants? No pants for Danny. That's a choice, Danny, right?
Yeah.
It's summer. Why would you wear pants?
Yeah.
Right?
You fight better without your pants.
You fight better without pants. Okay, you heard it here first. Okay, for those that don't know what Dauntless is, and we had you guys on before, and I was, a little bit into it at that point. Like I'd started to understand a little bit of it, but I know that lots and lots of people out there don't know tons, and you've got brand new, opportunities to reach people on the consoles. Yeah. Take us into what Dauntless is.
Sure. Yeah. So, Dauntless is an online co-op action RPG. It's as you mentioned, it's out on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Epic Games Store.
Yep.
Features full cross-play, so you can play with your friends regardless of platform. And really, at its core, it's about players coming together, taking up the mantle of a slayer, which you can see here, and battling these larger-than-life, boss-sized behemoths. So, combat in the game is very strategic, very coordinated between the players, split-second dodges, really high-fidelity attacks. And, the battles are a little bit longer in nature, too, like anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes.
Yep.
We really wanted to capture a lot of that, kind of that water cooler moment when, you and your friends take down the big bad for the first time. Kind of, hearkening back to days of vanilla World of Warcraft and, world first, raid first, guild first type moments.
I guess every one of the monsters that you go and chase is a little bit like a raid in a way, right?
Yeah, different phases, different attacks. They can get enraged. They can enter what we call Aether State, which is like even more amped up. They'll flee. Different personalities based on how the fight's progressing.
That's awesome. How has the game been doing for you guys? You launched about a year ago.
Yep.
And you've had lots of time to kind of furnish the community out there, and you guys came from big games like League of Legends and Mass Effect and lots of other ones out there. But how has Dauntless been received?
It's been amazing. Like, we've been completely floored, and we couldn't be happier. The community's been incredibly supportive since day one, even prior to console launch. And really, it's been a collaborative effort between us and the community every step of the way. Early on in the first days, started the dialogue with the community, and they've helped us every step of the way with feedback and bug reports and suggestions. And really, the Dauntless that you play today is the end result of that collaboration.
You guys learned a lot about free-to-play, obviously working with Riot, and you decided early on that was going to be the model for Dauntless. How much has the free-to-play kind of environment changed since you decided that you were going to go in this direction? We were talking a little bit in the news today, but also before we started rolling, about you guys had a loot box idea for a while, but you took that out.
Yeah, we early on, coming from several of us worked at Riot Games, which puts out League of Legends, which is an awesome game, and early on, we really believed in the free-to-play model because we felt it helped a lot with accessibility. No longer do you need to save up $60 to buy a game on a shelf. You can just download it and play it for free. And with that, we brought with a lot of our ideas from working at League of Legends around cosmetics, right? Like, the last thing we wanted to do is make the game free to play and then throw up a paywall. So like $5 to fight this behemoth or $10 to use this weapon.
Right.
So the core game loop, all the behemoths, the trials mode we're looking at, all of this is free to play. So a lot of our transactions and a lot of our offerings are based around player expression, player personalization. Danny's wearing one of, I think this is from Dark Harvest last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you have a new season or a new event, there's new outfits and new customization options every time.
Yeah, we towards the end of last year rolled out what we call our first Hunt Pass. We're on Hunt Pass Season 6 now, and basically every month or so players can expect a whole new season to sweep through Dauntless. Comes complete with new reward track to level up through new cosmetic items in the store, which you can earn or purchase. New, like you can see in the city here, has got a bit of a takeover to celebrate the current season, like the banners and the flags hanging. Sometimes it's seasonal, like Dark Harvest for Halloween and Frostfall for the holidays. Other times it's something completely agnostic, like Ninjas, which was Season 5, or Pirates, which is the current season that we're in.
Awesome. Let's jump into a battle. Can we go and chase somebody and
Yeah, let's
get
do
into
it.
some combat here? Now, Nick, you came from you worked at BioWare as well, and you worked at Riot, and those are completely different business models and different companies. Although there's a lot of learnings going on, and it's all getting very threaded and different,
Yeah.
and sort of mixed at this point. But explain to people out there and myself, how it's different to go to work every day to work on a game like Dauntless as opposed to were you working on Mass Effect?
Yeah. I worked on the Mass Effect trilogy with several of the folks at Phoenix Labs, and really cherished the time that we had at EA and in working on the Mass Effect trilogy. But kind of transitioning away from what we call that boxed product mentality. I think we're seeing even with like games like Anthem, where the box is just kind of the first step, and then there's expansions and patches that come after it.
Yep.
A game like Dauntless, we want to be living and breathing for months and years to come. So it doesn't matter if you play Dauntless every day, every week, or maybe you come back every couple of months and play with your friends on the weekend. There's always something new to check out. So as a result, we do create a lot of content. Like there's kind of like a steady state where we're just iterating, developing, patching, implementing, producing, just kind of rinse, repeat, and going through that cycle. But it's super exciting.
Is the analogy a little bit like I've tried to kind of figure it out in my brain, right? Because there's a lot of people like yourself that came from AAA box product kind of development, and you send something out and you hope it's going to be a hit, and if it's a hit, you get to stay together and work on the next one. But it feels like that is the movie industry, and this is the TV industry in a way. Like
That's
you
a
guys
good analogy,
you guys
yeah.
are constantly working on and hoping that you're going to work not on a thing but a season.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's a really good analogy. And actually, Danny and I were talking on the drive over here around, what we think Dauntless will be in a year or 2 years or even 5 years. And really, it's going to be whatever we as a studio and the community honestly want it to be. Like, we can add new game modes or even new genres within the game. I mean, that's the beauty of kind of making a live service, is we can learn in real time and within a couple weeks bring a patch to the community to help make the game that much better.
Awesome. Are we going to see a giant beast,
yeah.
Danny?
Yeah, let's do it. So what we're jumping into here is our new Trials mode. It's a new game mode that we added. We saw the leaderboard earlier, but this is one of our behemoths, Embermain.
Yep.
And rather than exploring the world of the Shattered Isles and the floating islands that are in it, Slayers drop...
What is that guy doing with the shield? What was
One of
that?
our rival emotes.
Hiding behind the log. Yeah, that
Okay.
was one of our emotes from Season 5.
Okay,
So
all right.
right now, the team's preparing all their buffs right now, and they're going to launch into the fight. And I'll let Danny speak to this as well if he can play and talk. But yeah, Trials mode features kind of a twist on the classic Behemoth fight, in which not only do you have to fight the Behemoth, but you have to engage with a variety of modifiers as well. So you'll see that lightning totem that just dropped there as well is going to start channeling lightning strikes that the Slayers are going to have to dodge and manage as well.
Are you racing for those pickups before your buddies get to them, or does everybody instance that?
Generally, you want to share them among.
You want to share? Oh, but there's only one of them in that playfield. So if you're greedy and you run around and collect all of them, you probably won't be with that group again. Is that kind of what happens?
Yeah.
You want to share all that stuff?
But the important thing here is at the top you'll see a timer kind of ticking away, and really what the group is endeavoring to do is get the lowest time possible, because that's how you rank up on the leaderboard.
Okay.
That's how you earn the rewards exclusive to the Trials mode.
And is this a PvP kind of variant? Like, you're not competing against each other, but you're competing against other teams?
Yeah,
basically.
it's
Yeah,
it's a great way to describe it. Dauntless is, from day one, we've wanted it to be this collaborative, cooperative experience. So it's not like me and Danny or two Slayers fighting each other, but given that we're a skill-based game, we're a challenging game, we wanted to incorporate elements of recognition and competition inside of it. So the leaderboard is kind of the first step towards that.
That's awesome. When I look at this game, it's hard for me not to think of Monster Hunter. And was that an inspiration that you guys kind of acknowledge out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's anytime we get compared to Monster Hunter, it's super flattering. It's a great game. A lot of us back at the studio play it.
Yeah.
And early on, when we were evaluating kind of different genres and different ideas for what our first game would be, we had a couple different ideas, a character-based shooter being one of them, and thank God we dodged that bullet, because we have lots of great games in that genre space now. The concept of a online like raid boss style, Monster Hunter style game, something that was, Monster Hunter from a gameplay space gave us a lot of ideas, but we wanted to do one better and incorporate better online elements, better MMO elements, again, kind of like harkening back to those days of...
Because they're balancing a lot of single-player stuff in there. It's a lot of game that they are really focusing to get that $60 out of people, right?
Yeah, and we wanted to incorporate more accessibility, again, being free to play, more tutorialization, a more what we like to think is an approachable art style that's a little bit more stylized, a little bit uniquely us. So,
are you going with the model of a World of Warcraft or League of Legends, where the story is really about the characters and how people interpret them, as opposed to distinct narrative that sort of focuses a line and everybody's kind of along for a ride?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
Being an online game, player-based storytelling, that more emergent storytelling is definitely at the forefront. We do have a full, if you decide to, you can play the game single player, from start to finish.
Oh, okay.
No need to, party up if you don't want to. Comes complete with its own cinematics. You create a character. You guys survived.
Hey, we actually got a silver.
Bravo!
You should try.
One of the guys that made the
Dauntless
game didn't
mode.
die.
Why not?
Yeah,
That's
try
pretty good.
Dauntless mode. Why
That's
not?
not bad, right?
So yeah, there's cinematics that help kind of set the stage for your character and your story. Lots of quest text, lots of NPCs. But we've also found that with the introduction of the seasonal content, that it gives us a chance to kind of every so often revamp how players feel the world around them.
Sure.
So not too long ago, we introduced a newer faction called the Ostians. They crashed an airship just right square in the middle of Ramsgate, but brought with them things like new weapons like grenades and the pistols, which are our first ranged weapon. So we may not have the broad, sweeping storytelling elements of a traditional BioWare game, but there are elements of story and nooks and crannies to
It
explore.
sounds a bit like you're making it up, too, as you're going. It's not like you're just pulling stuff out of your butt, but you're making it up as you go, trying to kind of flesh based on where the gameplay is leading you a little bit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, we're talking a lot about community engagement and their involvement as well, but a lot of it has been in tandem with the community as well. They help tell us what they like and what they want to see more of, and that kind of helps inform how we flesh out the world as well.
Well, you guys gave me a very nice gift today, and this is out in stores right now for Dauntless fans, but it's the Art of Dauntless.
Yep.
And this is in partnership with Dark Horse.
Yeah, the wonderful people at Dark Horse helped us put it together.
And this is almost like one of the classic guidebooks or something, right? In a way, like it'll really teach you about the world and the lore and everything. That's cool.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's got everything in it from what I guess I would call kind of like our open beta era of development. So everything from the early, like the first page is basically the first sketch we made when coming up with the idea for Dauntless, and it'll walk you through basically the history of how we got to where we're at today.
Do you think that this is the future of games? Do you think that more and more people are going to gravitate towards this, and maybe it sort of dovetails to the subscription model that, it's going to be about giving players the ability to stay in worlds as long as possible?
Yeah.
So if you look at Fortnite and League of Legends and things like that, these are some of the biggest titles on Earth, and Warframe, and you guys are vying for a spot out there.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I tend to have that belief that the more that games push towards free to play and service based, all it does is just open up the accessibility for people.
Right.
No longer do you have to, make sure that you played Fortnite when it came out. Like playing Fortnite I think they're on season 10 now, completely different than the Fortnite of a couple seasons ago.
Yes.
But at the same time, we're also seeing really amazing AAA blockbuster games come out. Like, Gears of War 5, I'm personally super excited for.
Yes.
Really looking forward to that. Borderlands 3 is also another great one.
Yep.
And
we need it all.
We need. I think it's kind of, and I'm at home right now playing Bloodstained, which I kickstarted many years ago.
And it's a great game.
It's a great game.
You know what? And it is like movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
Right. You can go back to your Fortnite TV show, or you can sit down and play through the campaign of Gears, and it's like a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, which isn't bad. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, we're calling the
right
shot.
Yeah, and you also gave me this giant mouse pad, so
Yeah.
I have to get a huge mouse. But I love it, man. That's very cool. It's also like a flag right there.
Yeah.
How has the game changed? Okay. How has the game changed? Can you see me? Can't even see me behind this giant mouse pad. How has the game changed since you launched it on console?
Oh man, well we're still a couple months in on console, so we're still doing a lot of learning and a lot of data collection and really understanding. We shared some numbers a little bit ago, but coming into console,
what were those numbers?
We had about 3 million players in our PC open beta.
Yep.
Last we checked, we were over 13 million.
On console?
With console and
all
PC,
together.
Epic Games Store, all of it all together. We've had 13 million people play the game. So,
wow.
More than quadrupled it. More than quadrupled it.
When you went to console.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
That's, and fast too, right? Like it took us a couple years to get to 3 million players, and it took us a couple months to get to the next 10.
Wild.
So doing a lot of listening, a lot of understanding of what all those new players are doing inside the game and what they're enjoying as well.
And you've got a Switch plan that's happening.
Yep, Switch is we're super excited. We debuted Switch at E3 this year in the Nintendo booth.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, part of their big reel of all of this content.
Yeah. So we're already hard at work developing the Switch version.
Great.
We're co-developing with the good people over at Iron Galaxy, who have done a couple Switch games as well.
Yep.
We anticipate it landing this year, and if you're coming to PAX and some of the other conventions this year, hope to see you. We'll be there as well, and we have some cool surprises in store.
Does a free-to-play game like Dauntless also work on something like Stadia?
It's a good question. We've been talking to the folks over at Google a lot in the wake of the Stadia announcement.
Yep.
We know about as much as the rest of the industry does right now.
It's a big mystery.
It's a big mystery. I'm super excited to see how it performs. We're super keen to bring Dauntless to as many platforms as we possibly can.
Sure, of course.
This is not me announcing we're coming to Stadia anytime soon,
Yeah.
but we are super excited to hear more about the platform and the technology.
With great success comes an inability to create anything else. We've seen this with Warframe, and I've talked to developers over there. It's like, we'd really like to make another game, but everybody's playing Warframe, and I know that the League of Legends folks are probably feeling a little not trapped, but you know, you have a lot of people that you need to serve when you get one of these games. Does Phoenix Labs want to make other games, or are you happy making this forever?
Yeah, we've talked a lot about being a multi-game studio, and while we haven't made any official announcements around what Game 2 is or Game 3 or anything like that, we know that the best time to plant a tree was last week. So Dauntless is absolutely the focus for us right now, but we do understand that if we want another game to drop in a timely fashion and, in the next couple years, call it, that the time to start that game is now.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Just as somebody that likes the movies and the TV shows, make some movies.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Make some character-based, make some of the games that are based on some of your biggest characters or your coolest creations that are maybe side-scrolling, maybe not mega, massive, epic things, but give us other ways into this world.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate hearing that.
That's my suggestion.
Yeah.
There you can take it or leave it. But Nick and Danny, it has been a treat to have you back.
Yeah, thank you.
Continued success with Dauntless. That's fantastic, and I'm very glad that millions of new people are playing your game.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
Nick and Danny from Phoenix Labs. Thank you, guys.